Hey guys, so we've got a bit of an unusual or bizarre week going on. We have the sun moving into square with Neptune all week, which could be blurring the lines between fantasy and reality a little bit. We may feel a little bit disoriented, a little bit confused about things, maybe hard to decipher what is real and what is not real. But as we move towards the middle of this week, more towards the weekend, there is some Mercury Uranus energy coming into effect that should be awakening us to something somehow, perhaps, bringing some unexpected news or information that is providing some clarity to the fog that we may have been navigating to start our week. And there is also a lot of potential here to not only give us an expanded viewpoint in some type of way, but to also re-inspire us or, cause us to feel more courageous or more motivated to finish something, to follow through on something, or to, take action to make something happen for ourselves. So we're going this week from sort of a state of not really sure what's going on to ready to start to do something based on some type of clarity that we've gained somehow. And to start our week today, we also have some unusual energy going on. The moon in Leo forming a square to Uranus in the sign of Taurus. This could be some emotional upsets as a result of something unexpected or shocking or surprising that happens. Also changes to plans and just can generally bring a more unusual day. So we're in some general strangeness today, you guys. Let's get into this chart. Let's look at how this energy is coming together for us and what we may be able to anticipate today and as we kick off our week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Monday, December 12th, 2022. My name is Aubrey and this is your astrological outlook of the day. If you guys stick with me till the end of the report, we're also going to be doing a collective tarot reading because I like to tap the field from more than one modality just so that we can get a better, more well-rounded overview of how the energy is playing out for us on any given day. So we're going to be doing that as well. So you don't want to miss that. But we're going to start with the astrology as we always start with the astrology. And yes, as I mentioned in my intro, I do feel that this is likely, at least to start, is kind of a strange week. But because of the way the energy is playing out throughout the course of the week, it's likely to be a strange week in general, just because we're kind of going from like one place to maybe like a bit of a radically different place, which also makes sense in the context of Uranus being this bridging energy that is happening and trying to Mercury this week. Mercury's the mind, information, news, media, what we're learning, what we're talking about, where we're going and who we're going with, the transactions, things going back and forth. Uranus, this is the great awakener. This is the great rectifier. Uranus brings blessings in disguise, but Uranus also like shocks and surprises and things hitting us out of the blue and unexpected everything. And with Mercury, there's likely to be some type of unexpected awakening that happens throughout the course of this week somehow that takes us, right, from this state where we're sort of like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's real. I don't know what to believe to, okay, I'm seeing things from a bigger picture. All of this is making much more sense in the context of whatever this is that I found out. Now, not to say that whatever it is that I found out is not going to be, disturbing or upsetting or, a little bit make us a little bit uncomfortable. Like that is very, very likely. Remember, we do have Uranus right now, this planet that rules upsets, right? In the sign of Taurus, which rules our comfort and our comfort zone. So when we do have a Uranus being activated, especially by the moon right now, as we have today, there could just generally be some disruptions going on to our state of comfort or our status quo of our comfort zone, like something along those lines. So this may be a bit of an uncomfortable week as well. However, as we get to the end of the week, like I said, we do have a pending Sun Jupiter square that is coming into fruition as well. And Jupiter is also preparing to re-enter Aries next week, which is the sign of the self, which is the sign ruled by Mars, which is the sign of the pioneer and the adventurer and the risk taker and setting out in my own direction, carpe diem, seizing the day, like going in my own direction on an independent quest to find something new and discover something new and to create a new world for myself. We have this Aries energy coming through with the Jupiter influence. The sun will be in square. So this actually should really be re-inspiring us as we move towards the end of the week and into next week on a very personalized level as well, with it coming back into the sign of Aries, ruling the self. We should feel very like personally re-inspired to, begin to take some type of action. And with Mars retrograde ruling, of course, the position of Jupiter, especially following this big full moon that we just had conjunct Mars, this may be where we're really feeling like inspired and confident, like have a newly redefined confidence in ourselves to be able to fix what we've needed to fix, or follow through on what we've needed to follow through on, or resolve what may have come up in that full moon energy. There is energy today also playing out that is talking about perhaps, putting some work into maybe resolving things or fixing things somehow that may have arisen with that full moon energy as well. Healing perhaps some things, some within our emotional body that may have gone on within that full moon that we just had as well. But overall, especially to start this week, likely to be, again, a bit of an unusual week. Things may feel like they're not real. We may feel like we are sort of a bit in a walking daydream, kind of. That may be the vibe as well. Again, these shocking, surprising, or unexpected things that are happening. And this is likely in regards to news, information, conversations, ideas that may be just like hitting us out of nowhere. We could actually honestly feel kind of like stunned in some way to start this week. When I was doing my December overview, if you guys watched that video, I talked about the week 3 of December, which is where we're heading towards this week. I was seeing as sort of like the fog of war. Week 3 is really starting with this emphasis on this Sun and square to Neptune, which can blur the lines of what's real and what's not, which can, like I said, disorient us or make us feel a little bit confused. And in the context of all of these revelations and all of this big news and all of these conflicts or stuff from the past, like coming back to be rehashed out and stuff like that, we may just feel a little bit like, I don't really know what's going on. I don't know what to do next. I don't know what is, the right choice. Also, we're talking about with this Mars and Gemini energy. But again, Mercury coming through with a trine to Uranus this week. We should be figuring something out. There's also North Node, South Node, the nodes of the moon being aspected this week as well by Mercury. And this is this fated, like divinely aligned information that is coming as well. Whatever information is coming out this week, there is a necessary divinely aligned component of it. Divine timing is in effect. Like, this is stuff that is very important. It's part of a sequence of events that is unfolding on a higher level. So the information that we are privy to this week, or that we are gaining access to, or that we are finding out about, we should take it pretty seriously, because there is, with the nodes being impacted as well, and this Uranus energy coming through, it is likely to be, pretty important. And I feel like a lot of what we have going on this week is about these divine realignments happening as well, sort of like the cosmic chiropractor coming through and giving us an adjustment this week while we are moving through this full moon cycle that was in the conjunction to Mars, and Jupiter is preparing to re-enter Aries, ruled by Mars, and we've got all this Capricorn with Mercury and Venus as well. And then actually today we have the moon forming a trine to Chiron as well, which rules chiropractic. So putting things back in proper alignment, I feel like, is a theme this week, sort of, and especially to start our week today. Now let's talk less about like vague interpretations and more about the specific aspects that we do have playing out today. Like I said, we actually have a lot of moon aspects going on today. The moon is in Leo. That means the moon will be forming a square to both the nodes of the moon today and Uranus. The moon moves quickly, so the Uranus and the north node, south node polarity, they're only a few degrees off right now. So the moon will hit both of those planets today by square, because the nodes, Taurus, Scorpio, this is a fixed sign axis. Uranus is also in Taurus, and the moon is in Leo, another fixed sign. So we're talking about a fixed sign T-square that we got going on today between the nodes of the moon, past and the future, destiny and karma, and also Uranus, the great rectifier, the silver lining planet, blessings in disguise, but also, the great awakener, and really brings some usually some unexpected things or some upsets in the process of rearranging things in a better way somehow. And then also we have that moon in Leo forming a sextile to Mars, simultaneously a trine to Chiron. Mars is actually the midpoint in between the moon in Leo and Chiron in Aries right now. And again, I do feel like, the moon in Leo, Chiron and Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. We're talking about Mars as the midpoint in the sign of Gemini. I feel like there could be some information that we are learning today, or that we're gaining access to, or some ideas that are coming to us, or some conversations that we are having that are helping us to heal or to resolve some issues that may have come up for us during this full moon energy. I feel like that is being indicated for us as well. And of course, this full moon energy is playing out throughout the course of the rest of this week and next week, also heading into our new moon in Capricorn that's going to be coming up. So this would be the period of time when that energy is following through, carrying through, and we're, resolving it as these other aspects come into effect. So that's something that might be going on today. And I do want to say, in the context of this Leo moon that we have going on, which really may be having us feeling pretty passionate today, and, it is a more lively energy. We could be feeling kind of creative or kind of inspired, maybe a bit fired up about something, especially with the sextile going on to Mars. This is actually a very good day to get some work done, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But I do feel like, in the context of this fire energy that we have coming in, remember, we're also in Sagittarius season. The sun is also in the sign of Sagittarius. And Mars right now, the fire planet, retrograde. I do feel like, there is a need to use sort of like our logic over maybe like our passionate desires today. We don't necessarily want to allow those passionate desires that may be rising within us to kind of like run the show this week. We don't want to allow like our emotional drives to sort of take over and like take us for a ride. Logical, rational, and more detached thinking over trying to force things or will them to happen, I feel like is going to be in our best interest today, and also moving through the energy this week as we head towards this sun square Jupiter, and also Jupiter re-entering the sign of Aries. Now, the sun squaring Jupiter, this does indicate success and good fortune and positive outcomes in the things that we are putting our energy into, and we're honestly like generally more able to do things that we maybe couldn't have done under other circumstances. Like, we're able to do things that we wouldn't necessarily expect from or of ourselves when we have Jupiter coming into the square with the sun, but it needs to be done in a certain way without like extravagance or, too much exaggeration, or being like way out of control or out of bounds or over the top, or putting out like too much energy at once. It needs to be done through a measure of like self-discipline and self-constraint and self-control, which we do have working in our favor right now with both Mercury and Venus in the sign of Capricorn. Venus in the sign of Capricorn really likes to work and to concentrate and to focus, and Mercury in the sign of Capricorn gives us a very organized mind and mental faculty that is also geared towards like getting things done in like a linear, logical fashion, and in a way that is like conducive to material success, this being the earth sign of Capricorn, and a sign that is also ruling success and things being well done and positive or productive, more so productive outcomes to the expenditure of energy. So success is indicated as we go through this week in terms of what we are putting our energy into, and in terms of what we may be motivated to focus and work on today as well. But it's coming through the lens, I feel like, of self-control, discipline, and strategy over impulse. I think that we are going to do better in the energy this week if we are, being organized, being scheduled, being structured, as opposed to just sort of being impulsive and spontaneous and letting ourselves be guided by whatever is hitting us in the moment. Now, specifically, like I said, with the energy today, this may also play in because we do have this moon coming into the square with Uranus, which can sort of throw things up in the air a bit. This has a tendency to like disrupt our plans, things not going according to plan, not going according to schedule. This can also bring emotional upsets or just like unexpected issues sort of coming up. And I feel like, again, this is where it probably is going to benefit us, like, to not just impulsively respond to things and like lash out and do whatever based on whatever feeling might be arising in us, but sort of like take a deep breath, sort of try to like analyze more logically what's going on, and sort of have like a more calculated response to things. I feel like this is going to be our more successful approach to dealing with things that hit us in this energy today. And again, with the sextile between the moon and Leo and the trine to Chiron and Aries, this could be related to things that went on with this full moon and ways that we are trying to heal or to right or to put things back in proper order in the context of maybe whatever was disturbed or disrupted or like exploded or was just like needing to be rearranged to some extent. But this could also, we're talking about the moon in Leo, right, forming the square to Uranus in the sign of Taurus. This could definitely be like just sort of upsets or disruptions or unexpected things coming about in terms of like finances, relationships, of course, partnerships, stability, things to do with like food or supply chains or resources or economies, like on a more global world stage. There could be news about stuff like that. But also with the Leo theme, this could bring in sort of like celebrities or entertainment or also like creative projects that we're working on right now, personal self-expression, like personal passions, things to do with that, or like shows, just various like forms of creative endeavors right now could be impacted by whatever's playing out in this energy today as well. And like things that we are working on generally, we may feel like we're experiencing some type of resistance with today or resistance from, or it could be like the things that are like happening to like interfere with our ability to like get things done the way that we want to, or interfere with the plans that we have for like our work schedule and stuff like that. There is an emphasis on the things that we are working on and the creative endeavors that we're engaged in today as well, somehow tied into whatever unexpected issues may be presenting themselves. But with the moon sextiling Mars, all these Capricorn planets, I will tell you guys, that being said, it is a great day to get things done. Like this is a very, very productive energy. We should be quite motivated with this moon in Leo as well, quite motivated and quite inspired to accomplish something that is kind of more driven by like our passions. Like if our passions are coming up today, we should use them to like channel into creative whatever it is that perhaps we might be engaged in, instead of, you know, using that as like how we should respond to a person or a conflict or a situation or like what we should do next. That needs to come from like our head. But whatever work that we are doing in today, that we are focused on today, like this is where we have a free flow of creativity and like passion that is able to be channeled into work, because it's a really, really good day to accomplish something, to like check things off a to-do list as well, with Mars in the sign of Gemini, to like cross things off the list, to just be very productive in like staying on task with where we're trying to be right now, just making things happen. But remember, we want to make sure also that we are not getting carried away with things, that we are not sort of doing things from a distorted perspective as well. Remember, we are also in this energy that has a tendency of confusing things and blurring the line and making things a bit distorted or disoriented a little bit. And we want to make sure, you know, that we are not putting a lot of energy into things that are actually like some type of distortion, or that we are not seeing clearly in one way or another. And we want to make sure that we're not getting carried away, and that we're just seeing all aspects of whatever we are engaged in from the greatest state of clarity that we can at this point in time. So there's that element of things too. Very, very good productive day to accomplish something, to work on something. Mercury and Venus in the sign of Capricorn as well. Very strong ability to like withdraw and just focus and get the job done, with the moon sextile Mars in the sign of Leo. Also like a lot of like energy and motivation to accomplish tasks and to stay on task and to get things done. But then again, with the moon Uranus square, there could also be some disruptions to our ability to like effectively carry through in whatever process that we got going on, and that could bring up some frustrations today as well. But the moon also, as I've stated, forming the trine to Chiron, element of healing, learning, wising up, gaining a level of self-mastery as well that we could be feeling or experiencing. The moon forming the trine to Chiron, this is a facilitating aspect on an emotional level. That means, you know, there could be a level of emotional self-mastery that we are actually experiencing today, which again could tie back into this need to be more logical and self-restrained, as opposed to just letting ourselves fly off the handle. And maybe we are doing this now, and this is the Chiron effect. Maybe this is the level of emotional self-mastery that is being presented or facilitated for us today, and our ability to exercise this additional measure of self-control. So, you know, I do feel like we've got some of that going on as well. Or we could just be feeling inspired and motivated to heal something within ourselves, or, you know, past issues, or in regards to what maybe happened in this full moon energy. And so, yeah, that's kind of the gist of how I feel, what I feel like we've got going on today overall to start our week. Week that starts out with some strange energy, some blurry lines between fact and fiction a little bit, or just feeling sort of maybe detached from reality or in a dream type state, fantasy land. Or it could be the type of vibe like reality is stranger than fiction that we have going on right now, and just not really sure, this like fog of war type of energy. Not really sure what's happening next or what just happened or what's happening right now, just trying to like get our bearings on things maybe. But some interesting information coming through to us this week that opens our eyes about something, helps us gain a higher perspective, awakens us to something in maybe a bit of a disturbing or uncomfortable or disheveling way. But regardless, it's likely to spark something within us again that is helping us or motivating us or giving us the courage or the strength or the independence or the assertiveness to be able to move ourselves forward, to take some type of action in one way or another, personally motivates us to do something. That's where this week is taking us. And then in terms of today, we could just have a bit of a less predictable day going on. It might be a bit of a strange or bizarre day going on. And also a very good day to get some things done, to work hard on something, but be prepared for perhaps some disruptions, some distractions, or just some unexpected stuff that might be interfering with our ability to like keep things going in a streamlined manner. And some healing energy coming through as well. But that's what we got to say today, you guys. That's the astrology as I see it coming through. Now let's talk about the tarot. Got a couple cards coming out, and they really are talking about this theme of needing to really be in our more logical, rational mind as we go throughout this week, and not allow ourselves to fall into any type of distorted ego either that is causing us to do things that may actually be working against what's in our personal best interest. So the first card that we had coming out of the deck today was the Ten of Pentacles. And so this is telling me, it's reminding me of this Sun square Jupiter energy that we have going on. Like there is opportunity for success and fortune and abundance to sort of come our way this week in terms of, where we potentially could be headed or heading towards. But the rest of the cards that we have coming out, it's interesting. Then we had the Sun coming out in reverse, followed by the Six of Swords. Okay, so this is actually talking about, the swords. This is that mental energy. This is a mindset shift that is moving us away from a more negative perspective or a darker view of things, or just a more low vibe energy where we were feeling maybe separated from ourselves, or like we didn't have what we needed to make this Ten of Pentacles happen for ourselves or to grow into it. So we do have an indication that we are moving away from a more darker mindset, perhaps, with it being the swords. But then we've got the Queen of Wands in reverse, followed by the Ace of Swords, right? And then on the back of the deck, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse, followed by the Fool. Okay, so to me, like what this is basically saying, the way that all of these cards came out, it's like, yeah, like we need to be very mindful of our thoughts and our like what's going on in our mind and our perspective and our mental attitude, and using this measure of ration and reason in the actions that we are taking, in what we are doing, and not acting from a place of this distorted ego, okay? The Queen of Wands in reverse. We've got the Ace of Swords here. This is that clarity that's coming through. This is that sudden understanding or that sudden awakening or the epiphany or just the overall mindset shift or attitude shift that wakes us up to something or helps us to see something more clearly. So I feel like this is saying, if we can stay out of an attachment to a distorted ego energy, which is also very, very strong right now, you guys, with this Mars retrograde and Gemini energy that we have going on right now, and a very slim fine line between our mind and our ego, and feeling very overly attached, especially with this Jupiter energy that is coming in as well, and the Sagittarius energy and this Leo moon today. Like there could be definitely an over identifying with like a distorted ego, and that actually is our downfall in this energy. On the back of the deck with the Knight of Wands in reverse, followed by the Fool, and the Queen of Wands in reverse, we're talking about these two wand court cards. We're talking about the Knight of Wands, and we're talking about the Queen of Wands, both in reverse. And then the Fool underneath the Knight of Wands. I feel like this is saying, like, if we're acting from our ego, we're gonna feel like a fool sort of at the end of the day. Like, I feel like that is the foolish thing to do. Like, that is not what is in our best interest in the context of this Ace of Swords and the Six of Swords next to the Sun in reverse. Okay, the Ace of Swords, this is the clarity that moves us forward, that moves us away from this distorted energy that we may have been struggling with, or just this more negative perspective, or this lack of confidence in our ability to create. This Ten of Pentacles, or move towards our balance or our abundance or our success or our fulfillment. It's coming through. The upright cards that we have going on are the swords. This is talking about this mental state, this clarity, this mindset, this attitude, this epiphany, this understanding, this rationality, this swords energy, right? Just this logical mind, this being detached, not being controlled by our emotional impulses. The Knight of Wands, this is pure emotional impulse. And when it's in reverse, this is like unrestrained emotional impulse. The Queen of Wands in reverse, driving, riding, pursuing, acting on behalf of this distorted ego. And the Fool, this is a card that means a whole bunch of things, but sometimes it can be interpreted quite literally. And when this card is sitting behind the Knight of Wands in reverse, we've got the Queen of Wands in reverse, we're also talking about the Sun in reverse, like. And the Sun is also, this fire energy. The Wands, this is this fire energy. This is these impulses and these rash actions and this reckless behavior. Like, we could end up regretting things if we are not coming from this more methodical, strategic mindset. But you guys, if we were able to come from this more methodical, strategic mindset and to slow ourselves down and to detach from our emotions and to respond instead of reacting, okay, then it is talking about, and this also reminds me of the Sun square Jupiter that we have coming into effect later this week, which is also talking a lot about the same thing. Like, success comes through our ability to be more restrained in, whatever we're doing or in our actions. And so that's how I feel, you guys. I feel like this week, especially also in this more fog of war energy, right? This Sun Neptune square to start our week, like, that's also a more emotionally geared energy, and we just don't want to be jumping headfirst into things without having a great understanding or based on some type of an emotional impulse that's getting us carried away, because we are likely to end up feeling like we made a foolish choice or decision, or just said something we would have preferred that we didn't say when all is said and done in this energy. So that's what I've got for the tarot message today, you guys. Let's grab one more card now. Synchronicity card, God, Spirit, Universe. What is one piece of advice, additional piece of advice that we can use to benefit us as we are going throughout the course of this week and this energy is unfolding? What do you want to say to us? What can help us in our process? I want one specifically that I know is supposed to come out for us. Let's see. There it is. And it says yes, you guys. This says yes. So if there's a question that you are pondering about or asking about, wondering about, that might be for you, the answer is yes. But I'm going to grab one more just so that we can have an actual piece of specific advice. And here it is. It says, okay, so we've got yes, and then simultaneously we've got wait. So if you're asking if maybe you should wait before doing something, the answer is yes. And I feel like I also, kind of just got done saying in the context of this tarot and in context of the energy playing out this week that, we want to be more strategic in what we're doing and not just sort of spontaneously rush ahead. So wait on the Lord and he shall save thee. Proverbs 20:22. Relax, let go, and let God. Don't struggle to make things happen before they are ready to happen. I literally am looking at my notes right now and it says logical, rational, detached over trying to force things or will them to happen. So I feel like this is reinforcing that vibration that I feel like is coming through this week about not forcing things and just allowing them to happen. And, keeping our minds straight about whatever's going on. Relax, let go, and let God. Don't struggle to make things happen before they are ready to happen. Wait and be assured everything is working together for your good. Now is not the right time to advance. Wait in faith and expectancy of the very best. Know that when the time comes to advance, you will be directed to do and say the right thing. And I'm telling you, this is coming towards the end of the week, as we get towards the weekend and as we move to next week. This whole report, I feel like I've basically been talking about how this week starts out and we're quite disoriented. We don't really know what's going on. And this is not a good time, you guys, to take some type of impulsive actions, to do something. Okay, we need to sort of just sit on it, sit with it, like wait on things to sort of make themselves a bit more clear for us, which should be happening as we move towards the middle of the week and into the weekend. And then by the time that we get to the end of the weekend and moving into next week, we're likely to feel like things are falling into place in such a way that it is actually time for us to take action and move forward. That's going to be happening towards the end of the week. But to start our week, I totally agree with this advice. We need to just sort of wait and see what is actually happening before we make a choice to do something about it. So that's what I have to say today, you guys. Message from the stars, message from the cards. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can help you a little bit as you're going throughout your day today. If you guys did like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Just hit that subscribe button right down below. It is completely free. It costs you nothing, and it really helps my channel grow when you guys do that, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social medias in my description box below if you guys are interested in any of that. I also really, really appreciate your comments. I really love your feedback. I love knowing how these energies are affecting you. I'm so grateful for your presence here. Thank you guys so, so much for being here. Come back with me on Wednesday, you guys. I'm not going to be having a video out for tomorrow. We don't have too much going on tomorrow. Tomorrow, again, could be this very fired up energy, and we may feel sort of impulsive urges to do things or to rashly act or to spontaneously act. But again, the advice from universe is to not allow ourselves to be spurred into some type of movement or motion or action by emotional impulses that are not well thought out. That is also the advice that is coming through for tomorrow. So we've got that. I will be back on Wednesday, you guys, for Mercury in trine to the nodes. And then we have the sun squaring Neptune. And then we have Mercury trining Uranus. And then we have the sun at the galactic center. So we've got lots of energy coming at us throughout the rest of the week. I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you Wednesday, everybody. Have a great day today. Have a great day tomorrow. And until next time, bye, guys.